You're listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast, celebrating hunting dog heritage, competition, and community. United Kennel Club has been the hunting dog sports home for coonhounds, beagles, retrievers, pointers, cur, feist, and more for over 125 years. Hey everyone, Alan Gingrich here, and welcome to the podcast. We're going to talk about the Winter Classic, kind of do a recap here. This year we had the 36th annual Winter Classic. It's our 11th year at Batesville. That's hard to believe, but it's already been 11 years. Wednesday and Thursday, they had some warm-up hunts as been tradition there. This year, they had a huge rainstorm on Wednesday night, but even then, they still ended up with 60 entries on Wednesday. Very well supported. We have an added purse that is sponsored by Eukanuba. That's $1,000. And on Wednesday night, with those 60 entries, the winner split $576. That event was sponsored by or hosted by the Mississippi State Association. Then on Thursday night, the weather was perfect for hunting, and they ended up with 159 entries on that. And that's actually a record. It's up 7 dogs as compared to last year's record number. So 159 on Thursday there. And the winner split $790 in that warm-up slam on Thursday night. But you can see all those results if you go to our website. You can see all the warm-up hunts results for that, all the winners, cast winners, and everyone. The Civic Center in Batesville has turned out to be a great venue for its headquarters, but equally important, Batesville and the surrounding areas have proven to be a great place to hold a hunt, especially during this time of year for sure. Generally, we utilize 3 area clubs as satellites, but this year we were able to have guides for all casts using only 2 of those satellite clubs. That was Vardaman, Mississippi, and Marianna, Arkansas is what we ended up using. We also obviously use the guides from the local Enid Lake Coon Hunters Club, but they all go off the grounds there. We've always used Winona as well, but this year the walk-up entries brought us a whole lot more hunting guides than we anticipated, and we needed quite a few less non-hunting guides. Therefore, we didn't use Winona on either Friday or Saturday night. But thanks again to each one of those clubs who support the Winter Classic with non-hunting guides as needed. We appreciate them immensely. It's always good to work with them. We compiled some statistics related to hunt scoring at the 2023 Winter Classic, and I'd like to mention some of those fun facts here before we get into some of our chats that we had with some of our guests there that we got on this episode. So first, all advanced entries are pre-drawn to scorecards prior to the event, making our confirmation and cast call-out process at the event much more efficient. Generally, we end up with approximately 12 to 15% of the advanced entry that doesn't end up showing up for whatever reason. We don't have a waitlisted entry or a waitlisted entry anymore. Waitlisted entries are dogs or entries that we don't pre-draw. We used to pre-draw most of them, and then the rest we'd leave a certain number for waitlisted entries. We need those to fill up any of those no-shows I mentioned, so we don't send out 2 and 3 dog casts and things of that nature. But now we do allow walk-ups for the last couple of years now, and that has worked out pretty well. So we do have on-grounds walk-ups that we utilize to fill up those pre-drawn no-shows. So some numbers here: 587 advanced hunt entries this year, 181 on-grounds walk-up entries. That totaled 768 total entries over the 2 nights. We had a total of 161 casts that actually hunted over those 2 nights. 15 of those ended up being dead casts over the 2 nights, with a total of 146 came back with a plus point cast winner. For the record, 155 of those casts had plus points recorded on their scorecards. You cannot beat that. That is pretty good. It's very good. Anywhere in the country, for that matter. According to the judges' scorecard notes, those casts saw a grand total of 528 raccoons. That's an average of 3.27 per cast. The scorecards reflected that the grand total of raccoons actually scored was 459 that the dogs were scored on. 459. That's an average of 2.85 per cast. And with that average, that considers all of the 161 total casts. So let's talk some percentages here for just a minute. 90.7% of all casts came back with a plus point cast winner. 90%, 90.7. 94.4% of all casts scored on coons and recorded plus points on this card. These numbers would be dang good anywhere in the country, really. According to statistics from the 1990 Winter Classic, this number was closer to 52%. So for whatever reason, that just speaks volumes for the hunting in the Batesville area for sure. While I have the opportunity here, a shout out to the judges we selected and all the handlers. I'm only aware of 2 questions that were brought back to the officials throughout the whole weekend. That's just incredible and really speaks volumes for all the judges and the handlers. So thanks to everybody there. So some show numbers here. 269 total entries. This includes Friday's registered pairs and top 10, and then Saturday's champions and grands. The top 10 show paid out a total of $15,000 to its breed winners, $2,000 to each breed winner, and then an additional $1,000 to the overall winner. And our congratulations to the overall winner, Skyline's Push My Luck. That's a red bone that is owned by Beth Jenkins of Virginia. So as far as results go, you can go to UKC's website to see all the winners from this year's Winter Classic hunts and shows. And that also includes cast winners who did not place, as well as all Breed Association male and female award winners. I'd like to just give thanks to a couple of our volunteers and our field reps, Alan Kalal, Doug Cundiff, Curtis Sparks, Philip Foster, Jamie Estep, Mark Vest, Brandon Scalf, and Alan Roberts. They all helped us out down there, and it takes a big team to make a big event like this work, but those are just some of the folks that always help us, and we appreciate them immensely. Local guide coordinator, Ronnie Stark, he's our local go-to guy, does a whole lot for us, thanks to Ronnie. Our satellite clubs, David Pratt with the Winona Club, Darren Tedder with the Vardaman Club, Philip Heron with the Mariana Club, and as well as all hunting and non-hunting guides that we had there. Sure, thank all of you. Thanks to all the hunting judges as well that were selected that we used there, as well as for the show judges, Rodney and Mary Bergbauer and Catherine Baxter, who was the 3rd judge in Friday evening's feature, the Top 10 Invitational. I want to thank all the participants who came this year. I want to thank our sponsors, GT's Feed and Hunting Supply, Bright Eyes Lights, Mule Brand Gear and Apparel, Okie Dog Supply, Timber Creek Dog Supply, Kelly's K-Light, Night Light Company, Gun Dog Supply, and Juan Hunting Supply. Thank you all.
Alan, we both had Dogtra Pathfinder 2s now for a little while. What do you think about yours?
I'm liking mine. One of the things I had the opportunity to now download a map of an area where I did not have service, and I've used it there, and it has worked flawlessly. I love it.
Yeah, I love the crystal clear maps. I love that I never lose reception on my dog's collars anymore. Highly recommended by me as well.
Dogtra Pathfinder 2, the official GPS collar of UKC. All right, kicking off our interviews, we're going to start with Nicole Sedlecky sitting down with our overall bench show winner. On Friday and Saturday afternoon, about the time the shows wrap up each day, I'm always busy in the hunt office, so I asked Nicole to interview our winner, and that was Megan Perez from Missouri. So here's Nicole and Megan.
I am here with Megan Perez, the owner, handler, breeder, I'm assuming.
Actually, Leslie Brooks is the breeder of, I call him Marshall.
Marshall.
But he is a grandpup to my old girl dog, so I'm so stoked about that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it feels really good.
Yeah, and the dog that we're talking about is champion All-American Western Justice. Marshall, as you call him.
Yeah.
And he won the show here at Winter Classic from the champion class.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about Marshall.
So he came from Leslie Brooks as a puppy. I was super stoked that she actually offered a puppy out of that cross to me, because she got a male who was off of one of the first crosses I ever made on Girl, which that's All-American Dream Girl. She was the 2020 World Show champion
winner, yeah.
And that that was the first cross, and it's Wyatt was his daddy. So she bred him, and she offered me a puppy off of that cross, and that's how I obtained Marshall. And he actually has been the breed winner at the World this past year. So I think he's got a good show career ahead of him. So I'm pretty excited.
How old is Marshall?
He is 2. So
he's 2 years old and already has a couple really big wins underneath his belt.
Yes, so I'm excited to
How
have.
fun.
I have been wanting a very nice male dog, a Walker male dog, for so long.
Because you typically show females, is that right? Or your big winners tend to be females?
Yes, and I don't really like females. Everybody who knows me knows that, because every time the big show comes around, they come in heat, and I've always wanted a really nice male dog, but I'm so picky, and finally I have him. Yeah,
I think that was how you ended up having Girl in the World show in 2020, isn't that?
Yes, yeah.
Because you're the dog you were going to show, or you're planning to show, she came into heat.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I remember that.
So finally, I actually have a male dog that I am so excited about, and it's been years since I've even had a male dog that I was pretty content with, and I love this one. So,
you are no newbie to the winner's circle. Tell me what it is. You're talking about being picky. What is it that you look for in a dog and the dogs that you're showing?
The angulation is a big thing. Confidence in the ring. I really love a dog that loves to show. And that pretty much is Marshall. I mean, I love that there's no twisting, there's no turning, there's no buckling. And I can't pick at him, and he's got it all. He's the perfect package, and he loves it. And that's huge to me, because if a dog loves to do it, it makes it that much better. And it actually calms my nerves. When I went out there for champion male, I was shaking when I went in there. And then when I got him up on the bench and he stood really perfect for me, I was like, okay, now I could breathe and calm down for a minute. So, and as long as I've been doing it, I have no idea why I still get nervous and shake.
I was just about to say, I was like, you were out there shaking?
Yes, I was. As soon as I went in there, my hands were shaking. I'm like, why am I doing this? But it's so much better when you have a dog that's just like, does it like that and loves it, So
for sure. Especially with, some of these big shows and Winter Classic. I mean, there are a lot of distractions. There are kids all over just with squallers and duck calls. And there's, doors opening and things slamming. And having a rock solid dog is, it's what you need to come to these big shows and expect to get something, right?
Yes. And it's really hard to get both, to get one that really can focus and stay like that, and then get on the ground and be so happy and just,
and have it all. Yeah, right. Have it all.
Yes. So I am pretty happy with him. I don't know if I'm being biased, but structurally, I think that he's pretty good.
Well, there's been judges to say the same, so that's good. How did you get into showing coonhounds?
My mom and dad coon hunted when I was born. I was growing up into it, and they wouldn't let me go when I was little, and I couldn't even read yet. So when I got the coonhound bloodlines, I seen all the win picks, and I seen them on the bench, and I'm like, oh, I can try to do this. So that's kind of how I started into the bench showing. So I've been doing it all my life. So.
And you still get nervous and shake when you're
yes,
hitting
I have no idea why, but it means a lot to me. So I think that's probably why, I guess. It never gets old.
I'm going to just give a little shout out to the dog truck commercial that Alan's voice is in, the butterflies. And he's talking about if you don't get the butterflies, when you go out on a hunt, then you're probably not at the level that you need to be, at least.
You've lost the passion.
Right. Yeah. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Megan. And thanks for making it here, and congratulations on your Winter Classic win.
Thank you. And thank you guys for putting on a wonderful event.
No, you're too kind. All right. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, you too.
I did my first interview with our field rep, Curtis Sparks and Garrett Fender. Curtis Sparks of North Carolina is one of our field reps and always brings a friend or one of his son-in-laws to the events with him, who are always willing to help judge or anything they can do to help us out. This year, Curtis brought his son-in-law, Garrett Fender, And this happened to be Garrett's first ever Winter Classic, so I was interested in hearing what Garrett thought of the event. Here's Curtis and Garrett.
Good afternoon, fellas. How are you, Curtis?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, how about you, Garrett?
I'm doing well.
Good, yeah. So we've kind of got things set up here on Thursday and kind of goofing off and don't have anything better to do, so I'm going to talk a little bit. Curtis, you're one of our field reps here. How long have you been a field rep?
About 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know time just flies. Doesn't seem like it's been that long for me, but you used to come to the Winter Classic in Albany. Do you remember your first time you ever went to the Winter Classic?
I don't remember what year it was, but I remember going the first time.
Yeah. Did you go to a bunch of them over there in Albany?
4 or 5 of those.
Yeah. What about hunting dogs? You ever hunt dogs in them?
Yes.
Yeah.
I went to the little club there in Florida, and I went to Alabama there a couple times.
Yeah. I remember we used to send dogs down there to Florida now that you mentioned that.
Yep.
But so you've hunted in both. You've hunted here in Batesville as well. How do you what do you think about the hunting here?
I liked where we went to. We went down here, went south a little bit, and I drew out with Jacob Martin, and we had a good hunt, a lot of water, more than we're used to where we live, but we had a good time, and it was pretty good hunting, I thought.
Yeah, Jacob is from Kentucky, so he's probably got somebody here that buddy or something that guides him. Yeah. So, but the last couple of years we put you to work here. You've been a master hounds down at what is it, Vardaman?
Vardaman,
yeah. Yeah, they always provide us a good bunch of guides out of Vardaman, Mr. Tedder down there. But yeah, I just talked to him today, and he said if we get in a pinch, he's got a couple more guides for us. So he's always a big help. But I don't know that I have ever seen him up here, but we always just talk on the phone. He's always so helpful to. How's he been for you guys to work with down there? Good?
When I went down there, I don't know all of them by name yet, but
yeah,
they're real nice, and they seem to want to help.
Yeah,
and they do real good for what's down there. People enjoyed the hunting. I think come in.
They provide about as many non-hunting guides for us out of as any club here, and they can get us up to 8 or 10 if we need them this weekend again. So that's always good.
Yes, sir.
It seems like Mr. Tedder always comes through for us. But yeah, so last year you were at Vardaman. We're going to send you down there again here this weekend. Master Hounds down there at the Satellite Club.
I'll be glad to go down there. I enjoyed myself down there.
So you help us out at other events too, the TOC, the Autumn Oaks, and the World Championship, obviously. But this is different than Autumn Oaks, but man, it's a good different.
I think so. It's I can come here, and hunt a couple nights, and then
warm-up slams you're talking about. Yeah.
And then do our part that we do, and I just enjoy myself no matter which one I go to.
Yeah.
I like it. That's why I do it.
Yeah, most times when you come to our events, you always bring somebody with you. Either it's Bucky Pack or one of your son-in-laws. This weekend you brought Garrett Fender with you. And I'm surprised, Garrett. I've seen you at a bunch of our hunts, but you said this is your first time ever at the Winter Classic.
Yeah, it sure is.
What do you think of Batesville here?
I like it. I think it's neat. It's all together, and everything's right here. You don't have to go far to go eat or wherever you need to go. It's just right here in one place.
Did you ever see pictures of it, or did you have any idea of what the facility looked like? Or
yeah, I've seen pictures growing up in magazines and online, Facebook, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was real neat. I was excited I got to come this year.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to sit up here in the bleachers towards the top of the concourse. You can just kind of see everything. Today's Thursday as we're recording this. So most of the vendors are here and most everything's set up. We're still waiting for a couple of vendors to come in. But, man, when it starts packing up with people tomorrow morning, it'll start buzzing and things will start happening. It's pretty cool to sit up there and just look around. Did you hunt? Last night, Wednesday night, they had a warm-up slam here, and it thundered and rained, and, man, that kind of hurt them last night a little bit, but they still hunted 60 dogs. I thought you were going to hunt last night.
Well, I was, but my pup, this is the first time she's ever...
I think the thunder had more to do about it.
Yeah, well, she never even been hauled in the daylight until 2 nights ago, so 2 days, she's still young, so she's learning.
So you're not hunting in the slam tonight either? Huh?
No, I'm hunting tonight.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Yep, I'm hunting tonight.
Yeah, so they have a $1,000 added purse that they have, and then last night they still drew 60 entries, so that was pretty good.
It was.
But about the time the hunters went out, man, it was coming down sideways and thundering. And I think they had 60 dogs, so 15 casts, and they all scored on a coon, except I think they had 3 dead casts last night. But it looks like the weather's going to be really nice tonight. And I bet they'll double that tonight probably. But even last night with 60 entries, they split $576 last night.
That's good.
Yeah.
Real good.
Yeah, so have you probably never hunted around here or anything like that either then?
No, I haven't.
Anywhere close?
Nope. I guess Georgia over, I guess that'd be the closest. Was it Comer? That'd probably be the closest I've ever been to here.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a long ways.
Pretty flat here.
Yeah.
Not far off the big river here. So, yeah, they've got a bunch of rain, around here. So it's going to be a little wet around here, I'd say. But hopefully you'll like it. Hopefully you'll do good.
Oh, yeah. See what happens.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to put your father-in-law to work for most of the weekend. We'll give him a break tonight still, but then...
he needs to be put to work.
Yeah. Are you going to hunt the Winter Classic too?
We'll see
Friday,
what happens,
Saturday?
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Yeah. Well, hey. Appreciate you coming. Good luck. Hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
David Gilman and Misty Yarrington are a farming couple from Illinois. We see them at most every one of our major events with their black and tans, and they're just a good example of many of the fine folks involved in our sport. They have some good coonhounds, and they certainly do their fair share of winning in both the hunts and the shows. Misty was a little hesitant, but I talked them both into joining me for a little chat in the podcast booth. Here's David and Misty.
Well, hey, folks. How are you doing this afternoon? David?
Doing good.
Yeah. Misty, David Gilman, Misty Yarrington. How long have you been here? Just get here today?
We came in yesterday, actually.
Oh, did you? Mm-hmm. I saw you last night, actually. This is Thursday, but I did see, I think, it was down on the floor maybe. Or did you walk in, or did you hunt in the hunt last night?
Yeah.
Did you?
Hunted in the slam last night.
Yeah. So
got wet with everybody else.
Yeah. Did you do any good or what?
Yeah.
Did you?
I actually won my cast. Had a good time.
You always seem to do pretty good down here, don't you?
It's good hunting down here.
Yeah. So let's talk about Winter Class. You Batesville here this weekend, but you went over to Albany when we had it in Albany.
Yep.
Well, what year would you say was your first year?
Probably about 92.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you've been going for a while.
Yeah.
What dogs would you been hunting back then in those days?
In those days.
Good ones, better than today, or?
Well, they're, hit and miss. Sometimes you have a really good one and sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
I had a dog called Gilman's Grinder back in the mid to late 90s. We hunted it in Albany, Georgia, and showed a dog by the name of Gilman's Nitro. He did a lot of winning in shows.
Yeah.
Grandpa Maurice Muth showed him quite a bit, and I did some hunting with some other hunting dogs that he had then. It was a long trip, but we always had a good time. It was always warm down there versus Illinois.
Yeah, that's southern Georgia. I've been there when it was cold, too, though. I remember one year, about my second or third year, it was icy. It had serious ice storms, but a lot of times it was, 70, and that was... And I've hunted down there before. I worked at UKC, and I'd say, I never went there for the hunting, but it was always good to get out of northern Indiana, go down there where it was a little warmer, and I remember one of the first times hunting out there and that stuff, step in what looked like a water puddle to me, and down you go. I guess that's what they call gator holes.
Yeah. But one guy told me one night, first time I'd ever hunted down there, he said, you got your frog legs on? I said, yeah, I got a brand new pair. He said, well, you just will leave them at the truck and put some tennis shoes on because he said you're going to go over them. And we did, but we dried out and we treated some coons down there too.
Yeah. So you've hunted both places. How would you rate the hunting here, or how would you describe it here?
Well, some of the hunting around Batesville, you get into some hardwood timber versus not really you can get into solid pines, but over there in Albany, we had a lot of problems with clear cuts,
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of brush. And off and on, you draw a good cast or a good guide, but sometimes not. But here, it seems like pretty consistent around these lakes, and wherever you go within about an hour of Batesville, it seems like the hunting's really good.
Yeah.
The coon population's great.
Yeah. So what has been some of your highlights throughout the years at Winter Classic as far as placements and things like that? Any that stand out to you that were like special to you maybe?
Well, sometimes some of them are more than others, but just the people I've met down here was the real neat stuff. Getting to know other people in different area of the country. Yeah. And it was really nice down here.
And you see a lot of the same folks come year after year.
Yeah.
From all over, really.
Yeah. Yeah, last night in there at the Slam, I seen a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah.
400 miles from the house, and you still know them.
Yep. Misty, you were never in Albany, but you've been here a bunch, and you've had a lot of success here, too.
I have.
Yeah. What do you think about the Winter Classic? One of those events. It's different than Autumn Oaks. It's different than any of our other events, and for me, it's always just a fun one.
It is. It has a different atmosphere about it. We have a little more time to get to talk to people here than versus Autumn Oaks or Grand American. It seems to be a little busier there, so this is a little nicer. We get to spend a lot more time with our friends. We don't see that often.
Yeah. You've, I know you've done a bunch of winning anyways. You always bring some nice dogs down here, and seems like you always do well here. You've actually got a dog with you here right now. He's better behaved than mine would be. Which one is this?
This is Monkey. She is a pup out of Hank. She's 13 months old, so I just brought her up to get her used to the building.
Oh, well, she's better behaved than my 5 and 6 year olds.
What her paper name is.
Driving me coconuts.
Driving me coconuts.
Yeah, she can be a handful.
Yeah. She drives her nuts most days.
Yeah. So what dogs did you bring to show?
I have Hank, and I have her. And then I have Hank's littermate sister, Stella, for the top 10.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that top 10 is going to be a fun one. I think tomorrow, that's going to happen Friday night, but that's going to be fun. You just have the one dog in the top 10?
Two, Hank and Stella.
Oh, Hank and Stella, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're littermates.
Yeah, well, congratulations. Trevor and I did a podcast on the top 10, and we looked at some of the points it used to take to get into the top 10 and what it's looking like in the last couple of years, and it's higher than it used to be.
Yeah,
so.
It's getting tougher every year.
It's almost double on the bottom dog for our breed.
Yeah. So what is it about about Batesville here that you like the best? Is it the shows? Is it the people? Is it the place? What is it?
I like the people in the atmosphere.
Yeah. It's the facility here is different, And I remember when we first came to look at this building, I thought, man, if we can. I was a little concerned, to be honest. I thought maybe it was a little too much. And these stairs you get tired after, especially an old man like me, Yeah. But after the weekend, but it's kind of cool to be. It's just different, I guess.
It's different than any other setup of the show or hunt across the country.
Yeah. So back home, I know you do a lot of the showing and everything. Do you hunt with David too, Misty? Or
I do.
Yeah.
I have a puppy right now. She's 8 months old, so hopefully get her in the hunts eventually.
Well, your girls we used to see them at the youth hunts, and Trevor's done the last couple of years. Are they still involved, or they've kind of?
No, they're all in college now and starting to get their own families going. So we have one that's starting to kind of come back, but so far they're just kind of doing their own thing now.
Yeah, well, good deal.
It's a busy time in their life now,
Yeah,
but they're coming back.
Yeah,
and then some of the future son-in-laws are wanting to actually go coon hunting with me, and I thought, well, boy, this could be a double-edged sword, but they enjoy it, and so we're having fun with that too.
What are you hunting down here this weekend?
I hunted a young dog last night, a young pup that's about 15 months old out of Roll, and got his first cast win last night, and I'm going to hunt him again tonight in the slams, and then we're going to hunt Roll Friday night and Saturday night for the big hunt.
Yeah, good deal.
So.
Well, hey, I don't want to take any more of your time, but I appreciate you both taking the time out here and talking to us. So good luck. And
always a pleasure.
Yeah,
anytime.
Well, hey, thanks for coming. We appreciate you guys and supporting our events. And thanks for coming. Good luck and have fun this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Austin Lane is a younger guy from Toledo, Illinois. He's one we use a lot to judge when he's able to. He and his dad, Tony, come to a good many of our major events and always carry a pretty solid hound to hunt as well. Austin and I talked about the dogs they brought to the Classic this year, as well as his thoughts on good judging. Check it out. Hey, Austin, how are you today?
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah, I kind of pulled you in here. We're Saturday here at the Winter Classic. Yeah. So what? I see you down here at the Winter Classic in Batesville the last I don't know how many years, but what brings you down here every year after year?
I just enjoy coming down here. Good hunting, and I just get out of the cold from home.
Where is home?
Toledo, Illinois.
Yeah, so you're up there in the farm country, flat country for the most part, right?
Yes, sir.
How would you compare the hunting here versus home?
A lot of my hunting is clean timber, and down here you got a lot of scrub brush.
Oh yeah, yeah. What's the this year they've had a bunch of rain down here. So you hunted? Did you hunt in any of the slams or not?
Yes, I hunted Thursday night.
Thursday. And then last night, then Friday night in the Winter Classic. But did you get in a bunch of water or wet stuff this year? Or?
Thursday night I got into a little bit of water over in Delta Bottom.
Oh yeah. So you hunted off the grounds last night?
Yes.
Last night you did too. Yeah. So tell us about your hunt. You ended up placing 5th registered Friday night with a little dog Polly. But first, tell us about how your hunt went.
Oh, we started out pretty good. I mean, she dropped in there about 600. Treat a coon, and dropped in there about another 900, treat another coon. And, our other dogs made some trees, but I had another dog tree 2 coons, but she outstruck them.
Yeah. So what'd you end up with a score? 350 or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, 350.
Yeah, and that was good enough for 5th place. So, yeah, that's pretty good. So, what is Polly? What is she?
She is a dog off of Triggerman. She's a year old. She belongs to my dad. She's just a nice little young female.
Triggerman that's the dog that Jake Moore was hunting there for a while. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
John Strickland and Ashley Octon, I know.
Yeah, yeah. He got run over here about a year or so ago. Or
yeah. Got hit by a car.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I never hunted with the dog, but I heard he's pretty nice. So
I judged him twice.
Oh yeah. So you raised this dog and everything, or what?
Yeah, I bought her not this autumn oaks, but last autumn oaks as a puppy over there.
Yeah, well, the weather's been pretty good here this weekend. You know, it can be anything this time of year. Middle of February can be anything, but this week is great for hunting, isn't it?
Yes, it is nice down here.
Wednesday, they had a torrential downpour on Wednesday, but beyond that. But yeah, I had a good crowd here yesterday and everything. So yeah, pretty dang good for placing top 10 and registered. Donkey is a dog that everybody knows you're usually hunting in these hunts, but he was here. Somebody else was hunting him, right?
Yeah, my stepbrother. I had him hunting him because he knows him and he don't know her.
Oh yeah. He didn't do any good.
He blew out of pocket.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And I saw your dad down here too. Is he hunting as well?
No, he's my truck man.
Oh yeah. Hey, Austin, I want to ask you, we use you a whole lot to judge whatever events, whether you're hunting or sometimes even non-hunting or whatever. But and I've been with you. We used you at Autumn Oaks in the finals one time, probably one of the first times I saw you judge. And I know Doug Cundiff was really high on you. You got to use Austin. And I like the way you took control of that cast that night. What makes a good judge?
Well, myself, I don't let it get out of hand. You got to keep it under control, and you got to know the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And don't second guess yourself.
Yeah.
If you know it's wrong, minus it, and people, they're going to start yelling at you.
Yeah.
Just basically ignore them and just go on.
Keep control of things, and
yeah. Don't let people get under you out there. Because you're out there for hunting for like Autumn Oaks. You're out there for that. Be the grand champion over there. They're out there. They're out there to win, and they're gonna. You minus them, and they're gonna. Unless it's. They're gonna.
Oftentimes, I've found already, if you have a judge that's a little wishy-washy or kind of quick just to kind of wait on everybody else to make their own calls as far as telling me when to minus it, oftentimes that doesn't work that. It's nice, but it oftentimes doesn't work that well, does it? If you're the judge, just do your job. You're judging the dogs. You do the job. That's the way I've always looked at it. Seems like it always works, probably works the best, but So yeah, what any game plans? So you got a cast win tonight. So double cast winners. You know they're in the running for the Triple Crown. She looking pretty good? You think? Feel pretty confident for tonight?
Honestly, yes. I mean, this little dog. I mean, I got right now. I mean, I got to thank my dad a lot. I mean, he's put a whole winter on her, and I mean, knocking on wood. I mean, when she trees, she just got coons.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a nice little unit.
We appreciate you guys coming down here year after year and coming to these events. It's always good to see you, and thanks for stopping in here and talking a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I've been coming down here 5-6 years now, and finally got in the top 10.
Well, there you go. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Ed Hillenbrand from Sydney, Ohio, is one of the veterans in the sport. He's one of those in his early 70s, but still out there enjoying a little competition. He was at the Classic with his Grand Night black and tan hound he calls Tex. Ed is one of those glass half full guys and always good to chat with. Here's Mr. Hillenbrand. Mr. Hillenbrand, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah. We don't see you down here in Batesville very much. I guess this is maybe your second or third time you've been here?
This is my second year in Batesville.
Yeah, last year was the first year.
Last year was my first year.
Yeah. What do you think of Batesville down here?
I like the town. The people are friendly. It's just Southern hospitality. It gets us out of some of the cold weather. Enjoy Mississippi.
Yeah, speaking of cold weather and, getting out of that or whatever, that's kind of how Albany used to be. Did you ever go to the Winter Classic down there when it was in Georgia?
No, I did not.
You didn't? Okay,
No.
So you never, okay, yeah. So this is, I think, the 11th year already that we've been over here. But
yeah.
This is a little bit different setup than you see at most coon hunts. It's in the Civic Center. Everything's kind of under one roof for the most part. We had the big dog barns just in the, across the driveway, but...
the facilities are great.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to get inside. And today it's not the weather can be anything here, but today it's very, very nice. It's not warm, but it's not cold either.
It's great hunting weather.
Yeah. So speaking of hunting, did you hunt a dog last night?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I hunted my Tex dog last night.
Yeah. How'd your hunt go?
I had a great hunt. I had a great cast. We were in water all night.
Yeah.
I did not win my cast, but my dog looked as good as he's ever looked, and I still didn't win my cast.
Good.
I made a bad call.
Yeah, good. Hey, had a good time. I
had a great time.
Yeah, yeah. Did you hunt close by here?
No, we went to Marianna, Arkansas.
Oh, that is the farthest. That's the farthest drive we have from here. So yeah,
and it was we were in water all night, but I've got a water dog. I love hunting swamps.
Yeah,
and we treed 5 coon on my cast.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, you can't complain about that.
Oh, it was a great cast. We had a great time.
So, what dog are you hunting?
I'm hunting Tex right now.
What is he?
Well, Tex is a Grand Night. He's dual Grand. He's a Black River bred dog.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of nice pups coming up out of him. I was going to hunt a 12-month-old pup here out of him, but he's not very experienced. I didn't want him to have a bad experience. So next time.
Yeah, just bring the old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you probably knew Philip Heron that runs the club over there at Marianna.
I talked to Philip there at Marianna, yeah.
Very recognizable fellow around
here.
He
He's
owed over a little bit.
Unforgettable guy.
Yep, he
Good
is.
Guy.
He's a legend in the not just in the black and tan breed, but around these parts.
Yeah.
And he's helped us out here. Their club has helped us out here, and it's clubs like that and guys like Mr. Heron that sure help us put these hunts on for sure. You need folks like that.
Phil told me last night, he said, if each one of us take a young person under our wing, then we'll have as many coon hunters next generation as we have now. We need to do that. It's tough to find a young hunter that wants to hunt. Very tough.
It is. he has done a whole lot for the sport in that regard, working with the young hunters and stuff. He really has. Sure has. So, yeah, we on Friday night, we kind of like to use this hunt and kind of recognize some of our older senior hunters that we had. And we asked everybody to step inside the circle last night that was 7 years and older. And if I remember right, you were one of those that came in there.
I'll be 73 at Black and Tan Days.
So what makes someone, how long have you been hunting in these competition hunts? A good while? You remember your first one?
Yeah, I remember my first competition hunt. It was about 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I got so busy with my work that I didn't do much competition hunting for a long time. I almost dreaded getting a dog that needed to be in the hunts. And when I got texts, I knew he had to go.
Yeah.
So I strapped on my light, and it kind of rekindled that fire.
Yeah. So do you think it's more the dog? Is it the people, or is it the sport that just keeps that drive going in some, for all these years for you? What?
If I lay down my money and pay an entry fee, I want to have something on the end of the lead that I can win with.
Yeah.
But I see better sportsmanship now than I did 30 or 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I see very little arguing and bickering compared to that. It's much more enjoyable now. People are, when your dog does a good job and you have the fur, everyone says your dog did a good job.
Yeah.
And that's I didn't see that so much before. It's better now.
Yeah.
But I've coon hunted for 65 years.
Oh, yeah.
My first coon hunt was when I was 7 years old with my dad.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a lot. That's a long time.
Do you remember the hunt itself?
I absolutely. They had walker dogs. I didn't have good boots. My feet got so cold I couldn't feel my feet. One of the guys said, when we get back to the house, Mom made homemade pumpkin pie. We're going to have some warm pumpkin pie. They treat a coon over a big creek, and when it came out of the tree, one of the dogs jumped in, and the raccoon was on the dog's head. And I wonder if that hadn't happened that night, would I still be a coon hunter?
Yeah.
That was so much excitement.
Yeah.
For a boy to see that.
Yeah.
That I got hooked.
Yeah, well, that's pretty interesting, and we just talked about keeping or getting the young kids involved or giving that opportunity or introducing them to the sport, but it's also good to see you veteran hunters still out here and able to do it and having that drive to do it,
My competition days are probably very limited. I'm going to be the old guy breaking pups.
Well, and the way the rules are, it's changed a little bit. Dogs nowadays seem to scatter around a lot more, and I'm sure that makes it a lot tougher for somebody with, hey, I'm not quite where you're at, but I'm not a spring chicken anymore either.
And the dogs have changed completely in the last 30 years.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's talk about that. How do you see that dogs from 30, 40 years ago as compared to today? How would you compare them?
I like the dogs of today much better. They're much more independent. I like an independent dog. We had pack-type dogs back then, or a lot of pack-type dogs.
Yeah.
I see less mean tree dogs now than I did. Back 40 years ago, I saw a lot of alligators.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest fear in a hunt.
Uh-huh.
But
I think I could say that as well a little bit. Maybe not. I'm not talking 40 years ago like you are, but 20 years ago. And probably fewer. But a lot of that is, probably genetic breeding and a lot of that stuff.
The dogs have changed. When I started coon hunting, if you had a dog running and treeing at a year and a half old, you probably had a pretty good young dog.
Yeah.
Today, if I don't have a dog running and treeing at 7 or 8 months old, it's gone.
Yeah.
And they do it alone.
Yeah.
I do all of my pup training completely alone.
Yeah. What do you raise a litter or two every year? Or?
I have no females, but I normally, rather than a stud fee, I normally take a pup.
Yeah.
And then I sort them out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Ed, I don't want to take a whole lot of your time here, but we appreciate you coming. It's always good to see you. We see you at Autumn Oaks too, and we always appreciate seeing you and always like having discussions. I know we've had a couple phone calls and things like that, and always good to talk with you. So. Well, I appreciate you taking a little time here today to sit down with us. And did you come down by yourself? Or?
No, I brought a friend, Thad Ray from Marysville, Ohio.
Okay, well, good.
And he's got a little foot problem, so he couldn't hunt his good female.
Oh, yeah.
But he's got to set him up ace female, and she's a nice dog.
Yeah.
And I've got a litter of pups out of her right now. They're about 4 months old, and got some really good pups coming up.
Yeah, well, good deal. Well, good luck in the hunt tonight, and hope you have a good rest of your afternoon here and have a safe trip back home.
Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from 14-year-old Maddox Arnett. He's from Silver Lake, Indiana, who hunts a whole lot harder than most young men his age. He may be young, but he's experienced, and his knowledge of hounds and night hunting well exceeds most his age. Arnett is a smart and interesting young hunter that you'll hear from next right here. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Maddox Arnett here. How old are you?
14, sir.
14.
Yep.
Man, you have got to be one of the youngest handlers we have in this hunt. But you have made a name for yourself in the last couple of years. How long have you been hunting dogs?
I've been hunting since I've been able to walk.
Really?
Yep, right with my dad.
Yeah. So your dad's pretty much the only guy you've ever hunted with, probably? Yep. Okay. How did your dad start? Did he hunt when he was your age? Or
his dad, he went with his dad, and his dad taught him how to coon hunt and squirrel hunt.
Yeah. And let's tell our listeners what's your dad's name?
Mike Arnett.
Mike Arnett, and where are you guys from?
Silver Lick, Indiana.
Yeah, that's right, close to my backyard where I used to coon hunt a lot. That's pretty cool. And we see you all the time. You're hunting with Jeff Cole and everybody else down there. You know, Jeff Cole and Lucas Barkman, they're known to be some of the hardest hunters there. But I'm telling you, you're right there with them.
Yeah, I try to be.
How often do you get to hunt?
If it depends on sports, but maybe 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah,
it depends on the weather.
Yeah, so sports. What sports are you playing?
I do baseball and basketball.
Really?
Yep.
God, you are a lucky kid.
I used to do football, but I
really?
quit that. Yep.
You just love sports and just being active, don't you?
Active, yep.
Yeah. Do you ever have time to watch TV shows, or are you just always hunting or playing, doing something?
A little bit, yeah.
But you're not that Xbox kid and stuff. You don't do a whole lot of that.
I try not to be.
Yeah. Well, good for you. So we're down here at the Winter Classic on Saturday, and you guys came down on Wednesday. So I know you hunted on Wednesday in the slams and Thursday. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday night, the weather was not very nice.
It's bad.
And you hunted in it. Tell us about that hunt a little bit.
We were hunting my bushwhacker female, Libby, and she treed a coon. And I kind of laid back on it. I waited too long. I got second tree. She treed first, and the dog came in there and backed her. And I waited too long because I was going to let her settle because I thought she was by herself. Well, the person I was hunting with, they struck and treed right there. So I got second tree. Went in there. She was on a cedar. And now that I get to use my thermal, that helped a little bit. And I found my coon. And that gave me 150 plus. And then this other boy, he was the guide and judge. And he was treed 600 through the country, and we were hunting state ground. And he had a coon sitting there, and that gave him 200 plus. And we had about, I think, 40 minutes, and it was just so bad she couldn't do nothing.
It was bad as in so much rain.
Yeah, it was terrible. You couldn't even see in front of your eyes.
Yeah. You're probably lucky to even do what you did.
Yeah. I was happy with what she done. Coon and that.
Yeah, heck yeah. So, and then Thursday night was much better. The weather was nicer.
Yeah.
Did you hunt Libby again on Thursday?
Yeah, I hunted her, and she treated a den, and then treated me a treat a slick, so I just withdrew. She didn't look too good that night.
Yeah. So, how's she doing? Is she pretty much the same dog down here as she is back in Indiana? Not
really. I feel like my dad's dog, Son, he likes it better down here than my female. She, I don't know if she's just not a out-of-state dog or what, but she don't really, it's been 2 years we've had her down here, and she hasn't looked too good. But my dad, last year, he won with my son dog, and on Thursday night, he got in the Final Four, second place. And then on Saturday night, he got first place night champion division. And then he just got second place last night in top 10.
Yeah, and Friday night's hunt got second with Son. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Though.
Yep.
Isn't it a lot of fun just to go to these hunts with your dad like that?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I get to cherish these memories with my dad as long as I can.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's going to say the same thing.
Yep.
He would say the same thing. So, so what are some other big hunts that I know you competed at Autumn Oaks. Have you ever done much good at Autumn Oaks?
I won my cast a couple of times, but I didn't have my dog granded. I just granded both my dogs this past year, and it wasn't really, I think I got 10th place one year, but I didn't really get too far.
So Libby, and what's your other dog?
Son.
Oh, Son, the one your dad hunts.
And we just raised the litter off my son dog.
Okay.
Yep.
So his son is your dog as well?
Yep.
Okay, but your dad just hunts him, handles him with.
Yep.
Why is that?
I used to hunt him, and then he's just so bullheaded. I can't even control him.
Really?
Yeah, he just jerks me all over the place, so I let Dad take him. Yeah.
Well, hey, as long as he's doing all right with it.
He listens to Dad more than he does listen to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Autumn Oaks, so the World Championship, you've hunted in it. How many times have you hunted in the World Hunt?
I've hunted in it twice.
Twice?
Yep.
Any luck there at all?
No, I didn't get to make it past the RQE.
Yeah,
but
didn't get out of the zones yet. Yeah, you will one of these days.
Yeah,
I'm
looking
sure
forward to this past year because I'm qualified and I'm ready.
Oh yeah, you're already qualified.
Yep.
Good for you. Let's talk a little bit. I know this is the Winter Classic, but last year you really showed out at the Tournament of Champions. Here's not little, I'm not going to call you a little bit. You're young, Maddox Arnett in the TOC finals. What did that feel like?
It felt amazing for me. I was 13 then. It felt amazing for a 13-year-old like me to be in the finals with a bunch of grown men, and I got to make it there.
Yeah, and you're a good example of somebody who have put in the time, put in the leather time out there in the woods with your dog and all that you can in fact be competitive and be able to accomplish things like that. Get on the big stage with the big boys, and how does that make you feel? Are you ever intimidated still? There probably was a time when you were, right?
Yeah, there was.
But a lot of that has gone away now. As far as being intimidated, you feel pretty comfortable.
I kind of feel like people look at me like the way I looked at them when I first started.
Yeah. So let's talk about the TOC a little bit. So what region did you go to?
I went to Mount Gilead.
Mount Gilead.
Yep.
They had a lot of dogs there in that.
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. We're gonna go there this year too.
Yeah.
Because I love the hunting down there.
Yeah. That's where the World Finals are going to be too this fall.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. So and that's coming up here the first weekend in April. So you'll be there again. So so last year you went there and you won your cast both nights there.
No.
Just one night.
Yeah, I lost the first night.
That's right.
And then I scored 1150.
Yeah.
The second night.
She really put it on him the next night.
She turned it on that next night.
So then you go to Greencastle down to Three Fat Labs. What did you think when you walked to that place?
It was beautiful.
That's a different place, isn't it?
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was like, I don't even know. It was beautiful.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so much fun for us to put on too, but just everything about it and all that. But I don't know. It's, hey, one of these days, I wouldn't be surprised to see you up there in that final cast one day.
I'm looking forward to it.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people have it bet that I'll probably be in the final before I'm 18.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do your school buddies say about you coon hunting? Do you have any friends that ever go with you? Or?
I've took a couple, but not really. But when I take a permission slip, so when I go on these big hunts, I can do the work online. And when they see that permission slip, the teachers already know what I'm going to go do.
Yeah, they know. Yeah.
Yep.
So what is it about? Do you like to pleasure hunt? If there were no competitions, do you think you'd still coon hunt, or do you think the competitions really drive you to coon hunt?
I would still coon hunt, but I feel like competition gives me the drive and makes me want to go. Because when I get out there with my dad, I competition with him.
Yeah,
it's just it's always a competition.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you beat him a lot of times?
Yeah, but he never owns up to it.
Yeah. How do you feel you are on the rules as far as your knowledge of the night hunt rules?
I'm pretty good on them.
Do you feel like they're hard to learn for somebody that's young?
No, you can go over the rule book, but the best way to do it is go out there and experience yourself.
Bingo. I've always said that.
Yep.
It's one thing to read them, and you should read them, but it's get out there and experience it and put yourselves in positions and different scenarios and learn how to score that scenario. And then it probably comes easier after that and experienced. And by the time you're 18, you're going to be a pro.
Yeah. You'll end up knowing them if you experience them. Yeah.
Have you judged any casts yet?
Yeah, I've judged a little bit. Yeah. I've done pretty good.
Yeah. You feel comfortable in that role?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, that's cool. I don't want to take a whole lot of your time here, but man, we sure like to see young kids like you coming and having success, and just everybody talks very highly of you. So keep doing what you're doing, and I know you have a lot of other kids that kind of look up to you, and you set a good example for them.
Yep,
So,
I tried to.
yeah, well, good luck to you, and we appreciate you coming down here. And we tried to get your dad on here, but he kind of shied away from it. But that's okay. But yeah, thanks for being here, and good luck in the hunt tonight.
All right, thank you.
Chuck Henson is a local in the Batesville area who we met through the Winter Classic. He's always sure to offer a hand with whatever we might need when we get there. He's just an all-around super guy who I got to chat with a bit. Here's Chuck. Hey, Chuck, how you doing today?
Doing good, man.
Good. Hey, appreciate you stopping in here with me and sitting down with me here for a minute. But, yeah, Chuck Henson, you're right local here in around Batesville. Your hometown is what, Cortland?
Yes,
which
sir.
is just a town or two over from here at Batesville.
Yes, sir. 7 miles from the Civic Center.
Yeah, so what is it? Pretty nice to have a big major event in your backyard like this.
It's real convenient.
Yeah. So it's this. I can't believe this is the 11th year already we've been down here. It doesn't seem that long, does it?
No, it's just hard to believe.
Yeah.
Time just flew by.
Yeah. So, but it's been another great. This is Saturday afternoon. It's been another good weekend here. But you belong to what? You're a member of the Enid Lake
Yes,
Coon
sir.
Club. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So Wednesday night, you well, I guess the state association hosted the slam hunt on Wednesday night.
Yes, sir.
I felt kind of bad for them with all that rain, but they still had a good entry of 60 dogs.
We had a good time. Fellowship was good. We all got wet. But overall, if it wasn't for the weather, I think we would have really put up some scores.
Yeah. And then Thursday night, the Enid Lake Club, your club, hosted the warm up hunt on Thursday, and then they came out of the woodworks on Thursday.
They did.
159 dogs, I think.
I think that's right. Yes,
Yeah. So, I know you've had a little bit of success in this hunt. Did you ever hunt it when it was over in Albany, Georgia?
No, sir. Never did.
Never did.
No.
Yeah.
Sir.
Did you hunt in most all of them since we've been here?
I've hunted in every one.
Every one of them.
Yes, sir.
So, what's your dog's name? The one you've been hunting last couple of years? Yeah, Witted. What's her name?
Eureka Springs. Come on with it.
Come on with it. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Are you still hunting her or what?
Yeah, well, no, sir. She's retired.
Is she?
It hurts my feelings, but
yeah,
she's still alive and doing good. I just turn her loose and hunt some puppies with her now. But
yeah,
she's still in good shape.
Yeah. So what are you hunting these days? What are you hunting here this weekend?
I've actually purchased a young female she was a semen puppy out of Hard Time Awesome that I purchased from Mr. Tom Ginther.
Obviously, English hounds is what you hunt.
Yes, sir. She's real young. She performed good for me last night and everything, but we just, you can't win them all, man.
Yeah. Isn't it kind of cool at a hunt like this when you get to hunt with people from other states and folks you don't normally hunt with?
I was just telling some of the guys last night, I'm at the point now where the camaraderie of just being here, like Brett Stevens and my buddies from Missouri, Colton Jones and them coming down, and Mr. Tom from different states, it's just unbelievable. The camaraderie and the friendship we have is to have something in common from all over the world. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a competition, and it's like this weekend again. We've just had very, very even few questions. Questions aren't a bad thing. There's a reason we have questions to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
But the reps have always just again last night they just had a couple,
mm-hmm.
but nothing major. And the slam hunts they didn't have any.
Right.
But it's it's always a good time down here.
Mm-hmm.
And would you get to go in any other regions or any other areas to hunt much? I know you've been up to Richmond, Autumn Oaks a time or two.
I love going to Richmond. I went to the World Hunt with it, and we were successful there in 20. And I just, like I said, I told some of the guys here, I'm between an old dog and a puppy.
Yeah.
And it makes it hard, but you still, the love for the sport, you just want to compete. So Whitted was too old. She's really too young, but we got out there and like I said, it's camaraderie and supporting UKC and y'all coming to Batesville. It means a lot to us here in Batesville. We get the landowners have really came, and helped, and give us permission to hunt places they normally wouldn't for this particular event, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, that's good, and it's always a good thing to have good relationships with landowners. And do you guys get to invite some of those guys here that do come here?
We well, when it first started here, we do. A lot of the landowners want to go with us, and a lot of the kids in the local area have gotten. I can remember talking to Mr. Rupert Morgan and some people here. Our youth, after y'all came the first 2 years, every truck in Batesville had a dog box in the back.
Really?
And I mean, you know, the youth, some stick with it and some don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty, being a coon hunter, the nighttime event is pretty rough on those young guys.
Yeah.
And, but it's a lot of youth that has kept going with it, and I'm thankful for that. And it's a lot of good people that love y'all coming, and the landowners, they, like I said, I know some guys that won't let nobody step a foot on their property until the Winter Classic. So I'm very thankful for them.
Yeah.
And they appreciate y'all coming and bringing this event here to Batesville.
Yeah, well, last night we had a good entry. We hunted a bunch of pile of dogs last night and had over 100 walk-ups, and I was really concerned. And those walk-ups brought us a bunch of guides, and I didn't think we were going to be able to hunt them all. And, you know, we used fewer non-hunting guides last night than we ever have up here. But so yeah, it last night was really good, and looking forward to another one here on Saturday night. But yeah, Chuck, I know you're getting ready for everything this afternoon or this evening's hunt, and I appreciate you taking a little time to sit down, and we always appreciate your hospitality and always feel welcome when we come down there. We appreciate
y'all, man. Like I said, it's an honor for y'all to come. I hope y'all continue to come here for years, and it's like I said, we all look forward to it, man. It's an exciting time for me and my family, and I appreciate you.
Our next guest is the always smiling and friendly dog show and treeing walker enthusiast, Janis Hunter from Florida. Where you see Janis, you'll usually see her husband Wayne and son Jason as well. It's always good to see them, and this year I talked Janis into visiting with me in the podcast booth for a minute or two. Here she is. Good afternoon, Janis. How are you?
I'm good, Alan. How are you?
Yeah, it's Saturday afternoon. The show's all over, and I grabbed you before you hit the road to head back to Florida. Well, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. We kind of got a hangry bunch down there. Everybody's ready to eat. Had a long day of showing and tired.
Yeah, it's been a long 3 days, but I feel like it's been a good 3 days.
It's been beautiful. The weather's held out, and it's been nice.
Well, 2 days. I say 3 days. We've been here for a little while. I guess we had the warm-up slams and all that stuff, but as far as the show stuff, Friday, yesterday, and then the top 10. But so first, let's back up a little bit. Brantford, Florida. Where is that? What part of the state?
It's north central. Yeah. It's between Jacksonville and Tallahassee, dead center between the two, and about 60 miles from any beach you want to go to.
Yeah. Well, that's probably nice.
Yeah, it really is. And about an hour south of Valdosta.
Okay. So we see you at Autumn Oaks. We see you here. We see you at Walker Days and some other events. But I'm sure any event is a long ways for you, is it not? Most of
the closest one would be Grand American. It's about 5 hours.
Okay, that's not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. How far is this one?
About 9.5.
Okay, well, you're closer than we are.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I've always felt bad for you, but maybe I should.
Well, you should, because, it used to be 2.5 hours.
Well, I know.
Way back when.
So, you're talking about the Winter Classic in Albany. Let's talk about that for a minute. So, do you remember your first time you went there?
Well,
I don't. Remember what year it was?
I honestly don't remember the year. I guess if I went back and looked, I could probably figure that out. But I do know that one of the puppies that wound up being one of my best puppies was a puppy when we were there, and he passed away about a year ago, and he was 14.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's been a good while.
Yeah, and we were there years before that, too.
Yeah.
So I would say at least 15, 16 years, if not more.
And that was a fun place, too.
Oh, we loved it.
We used to enjoy going to Albany. I remember we'd go down there. We had there for a while. UKC had the big motorhome. We'd go down there, and the Chamber of Commerce ladies, they'd be out in the parking lot waiting for us out there, just so accommodating.
And then the plantations and everything to hunt is beautiful.
It's a neat place, sure was.
But this is nice too.
Yeah, it was a tough move for us to bring it over here, but it has also worked out over here in this part of the country where they didn't really have a major event like that, so it's really worked out well.
And I think good hunting here too. Huh?
It is. It's very good hunting around the Delta. It's not right. It's just off the Mississippi River, so it really is good. You look at things like that as well, but the facility here is different than most any other facility we see at a coon hunt. But
it's beautiful. My son actually knew where it was because he used to ride bulls here.
Oh yeah. So he's kind of, you're talking about Jason. He's kind of a cowboy and a horseman, and he's a farrier, right?
Well, he's hung up his spurs. He's still he's a farrier.
Yeah,
but he rode bulls for quite a few years.
So he came with you this weekend.
He
again?
did.
Okay, and then also Wayne came.
And
your
Wayne
husband
came.
Wayne. Yeah,
and Wayne hunted here last year, or year before.
Yeah,
year before I think it was.
Yeah. So he didn't hunt this year, huh?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, I saw them sitting down there and watching the shows and looked like they're enjoying themselves, relaxing anyways. Huh?
Yeah, he's my good support system,
So what did you bring for dogs this week?
I brought 2 champion females and a puppy. Well, I say puppy. She just turned junior by 1 day.
I think I heard you talking to Nicole from UKC there about that. She was a junior 1 day and a puppy the other day.
She was born on the 9th, and I think on the 10th was the show.
Yeah.
So she was a junior. Oh, it killed me,
How'd she do for you?
She did beautifully.
Good.
She likes it.
Yeah.
She's a little show dog.
Yeah. So you had a dog in the top 10 this year. Talk about that.
That's second one's True Colors.
Yeah.
And I actually racked up some points with her early on at Grand American.
Okay.
And she'd come in heat, and I turned her out in the yard, and it's all fenced.
Uh-huh.
And one of somebody's dog, a hound,
oh boy,
got in.
Where's this going?
And she got bred.
Oh boy.
So between Grand American and now, she raised the puppies and still made top 10.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, but we got lucky that she early on did, and I honestly didn't plan the breeding, but it happened.
Yeah. Well, I talked to you a little before the show. We kind of did a little thing. We kind of turned the lights down, had some spotlights there, and you were a little concerned. But you did fantastic.
I didn't fall down,
no,
did I?
You didn't.
And I promise you, had I fallen down, I'd have had to crawl to the side to get up.
No, but that was pretty cool. I thought that show we saw a lot of quality in that show.
Some beautiful dogs in every breed.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
And the overall winner, he is just a phenomenal hound.
Yeah, he is. You're talking about
Marshall.
Marshall.
Megan Perez's dog.
Yeah. That you're talking about today's show there, but
yes.
The top 10 was top 10. The overall winner was Beth Jenkins' dog. But today's winner, the overall dog, was Megan Perez's dog.
Yeah, and top 10 was Luck.
Yeah, Luck. Yeah. And I did not get to. I'm in the hunt office most of the day today, so I didn't get to watch much of the show. But every time it seemed like I walked the concourse here and looked down there. Look, I saw some beautiful dogs down there.
It went really smoothly. Everything went really smoothly, and it was. We were a little crowded in space. That was the only drawback.
You're talking about the ring was now in the center. We kind of did a quarter turn with the stage in the ring, and I think it's in the right place there, or in the right spot. We just need to. We talked about that.
Push it back,
and create another row for crating. So we've already talked about that. Well, that starts every year. You talk about things that we need to fix, and that's already been on our list.
And I give y'all, it's so much work. I know putting one of these on. We give y'all full credit and really appreciate y'all so much.
Yeah, well, we want to make it nice for you guys, and
you do.
We made the ring bigger. I think that was nicer this year.
Yeah, because you can really see the ground movement of the dogs. Yeah. That really needs to be stressed a lot more. Because you can really see flaws that you can't see on the bench.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so what did you show today? Did you show any today? They ran. We're here Saturday. We're talking about Saturday. So Champions and Grand show today.
Yeah, we showed. Let's see. I showed True Colors.
Yeah.
And I didn't win. No love today, but she did a really good job.
Good.
Showed Indigo Illusion, and there was a little noise episode.
Oh boy.
Some kind of equipment came in. I don't know and she just bailed.
Oh boy.
Scared her to death.
Really?
So that I think cost her the win because
kind of played on her then.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But still in all, and Jason was showing her and she recovered, so we got that done. And then Jason showed Primo Supremo, second
Right.
one Supremo.
Right.
And
Wayne just sat there and clapped all day.
and Wayne was our support system.
There you go.
Bless his heart.
Yeah. So I know you guys were kind of in the racehorse business at one time years ago.
Yes.
Why Coonhounds? What drove you to Coonhounds?
Well, you know, before Wayne and I got married, when he was younger, his father had foxhounds. Wayne had done some bird hunting, you know, loved the hounds. But then he was invited to go coon hunting and hooked immediately. He just loved it. Mm-hmm. So he started getting dogs, went to a lot of local hunts. And, you know, that was before he and I had met. And then when we got together, we started hunting together. And I loved it as much as he did. I even hunted when I was pregnant, you know.
Did you?
Yeah. Loved it. But
in Florida.
In Florida.
So
in the swamps.
Did you? That's where you've always lived, Florida.
Yes, always lived in Florida. And then, you know, of course, the racehorses kind of stopped it for about 10, 15 years. And we were full-time racing the horses. And then when we were done with that, first thing Wayne said was he was going to buy a few hounds. Yeah. And we did. And Jason was getting a little bit bigger, so he had a little doggy called Road Ranger because he'd hit the road all the time. Yeah. But, you know, he loved it too, so it became a family affair.
Yeah, just kind of stuck with it. Still something you enjoy doing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you always bring some nice dogs.
Thank you. Thank you. And, you know, back then, I always loved a pretty dog. Yeah. Loved a pretty horse. Yeah. But, you know, a lot of times with the hunting dogs, you don't get a lot of correctness. And I was trying to show his dogs, and it just wasn't filling the bill. Yeah. So gradually, I started buying a few really nice show dogs, and it went from there.
Yeah. So, and you do you've done a lot of your breeding since then. Yeah.
All my dogs are my own breeding. Now I've brought in a few males to, you know, widen the pool a little bit, the gene pool a little bit.
Yeah, before we came in here, we were chatting a little bit, and you mentioned the Barbie dog or the Barbie dog. I hadn't realized I probably just forgot that you did breed that dog.
Yeah, I had Maker's Mark. I had Backwoods Barbie.
Backwoods Barbie. That's it. Yeah.
And Locked and Loaded, and you know, quite a few of the nicer dogs out there.
So, as far as the state of Florida, what are there any clubs down there that you would show at or participate at, or that Wayne hunts out? Wayne or Jason hunt out?
we have a local hunt that we support, you know, and then of course we support the state event too, and actually put on one of the state events in Florida, and it was actually wound up being the biggest state event we'd had.
Yeah, good.
So, but you know, I mean, you got to support your local,
absolutely,
folks. They just suckered me into being a board member there. So,
well, I know the boys are down there loading up for you, and I don't want to take up a whole lot of your time. I know you're getting packed up to head back to Florida here today, this Saturday evening. But I do appreciate you sitting in here with me and me picking your brain a little bit today.
And we appreciate you guys.
Well, thank you
so much.
Thank you very much, and thanks for coming. Hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much.
Rodney and Mary Bergbauer are a husband and wife team that we see a lot at most of the major events. They've both been showing their Redbone Coonhounds for years, and in recent years, we're also seeing them judge quite a bit. We tasked them to judge the shows for us this year, and I asked them to join me to talk about that before they started their trek back home to Indiana. Here's Rodney and Mary. Well, Rodney and Mary, the shows are over. It's been a long couple days, but I feel like it's been a good couple days. So I'm sitting here with Rodney and Mary Bergbauer, judges from Silver Lake, Indiana. So welcome.
Right.
And thank you for coming down here to the Winter Classic and judging, both of you. Husband and wife, obviously. So, Mary, I'm going to start with you. You judged on Friday. You judged the registered and pairs classes on Friday. How was that? How was your experience here?
Well, I was really looking forward to judging one of my favorite shows. I thought it was a really good experience and getting my hands on some really nice hounds. And it was fun judging with my husband.
Yeah.
Being the ringster.
Do you feel that made it a little easier for you with him kind of being here and judging with you instead of maybe somebody else?
I definitely think it made it easier, and we kind of worked as a team.
And you could kind of talk about things and probably,
Yeah.
Well, I know, oftentimes, for folks that are judges that maybe haven't judged a big major show or like Autumn Oaks or the World or something, this is kind of a good one to kind of to start out with. I always feel like, and kind of works with having a husband and wife team. I think we started that several years ago with Scott and Connie Hogan did it, and kind of worked out well. And then who else did we have? Eric and Leslie Brooks one year, I think. And yeah. So so that was Friday. Mary, you judged Friday, and then the top 10. We brought your husband Rodney in as well, and then we also had Catherine Baxter, who lives here in Mississippi, to do the 3-panel judge system for the top 10. So, what'd you Rodney? What were your thoughts on the top 10?
I thought it was a good setup, how you guys had it and how they come in each ring, and the scoring I thought was really nice. You score the dogs how you've seen, and there was a lot of stiff competition. I do know that.
There was a very nice show.
Yes,
very nice dogs that were in it. I felt like I've watched a whole lot of them, obviously, and I felt like this year was about as tough as it's ever been as far as overall.
Yeah, I really liked that lineup.
Yeah. So how was it just judging like that? You've probably never judged like that, have you, before?
No.
Kind of a different
I've
format.
done a 3-panel judging system, but never nothing like that.
It's just different.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not like I know I talked to you guys a little bit before the show, and don't score too high right out of the gate, and don't leave you some room, but it looked in the scoring, we don't publish that, but it looked sometimes I'd love to, just so folks could see what it really looks like. People kind of make out what they want to make of it or whatever, but it looked really good.
Because you don't know what the next guy's doing.
You don't, and it really doesn't matter.
No. Right. You can put down what you want, but it's got to go with the final of the tally there.
Yeah, exactly. Mary, what were your thoughts on it?
Well, I've showed in the top 10 several years ago, for several different years before you changed the format. So when I heard about the format, I was like, I don't really know what I think about that.
That was about 80% of everybody.
Yeah, and I still haven't shown since you've changed the format, but judging it, I'm on board.
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to judge the top 10, and it was a little difficult though, because you gave us that, don't go too high, don't go too low.
Yeah.
And give yourself some room.
Yeah. The only reason, if
why.
you don't want to go too high, is because to give you some room, just because the first dog, if you get him too high, you just don't leave yourself any room to get higher if you need to. And really, it doesn't matter where you are, it all comes out in the end one way or another, but
but there was several in quite a few of the breeds that were really close, like within points close. So I understood why you said,
well, I will tell you this much, when the final, we bring in the breed winners, and then you guys score them one more time, each one of the breed winners. You bring all 7 in at one time and give each dog a score again. Each judge does again in that round. And all of those were, all 3 of you guys were all within, less than 10 points, I think it was, between all those 7 hounds.
That's crazy, because you're all doing it separately.
Yeah. I know, it is, really, if you think about that.
Well, that's pretty cool, though.
It is, yeah. So then, Rodney, today, Saturday, you got the assignment of champions and grands. How'd that go today?
Well, it was the champions was good. It was, I think, breaking me in. But once I got to the grands, it was a lot stiffer competition.
Yeah.
And it was a little rough there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rough as in just
good. The quality of the dogs, and then you have to make a decision.
Yeah.
And you want to pick them all, but you can't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I know, and sometimes there's some that get so close, but I remember Wayne Cavanaugh used to always find something, pick something, nitpick something. Sometimes when it's just so close, sometimes it just, then after that it just comes to, you kind of judge by the breed standards. Right. And when it really comes down to it, sometimes at the end of the day, it's kind of something, maybe you find something, whether it's maybe even something you just personally kind of like or dislike or whatever, but
yeah.
Like I didn't get to, I'm in the hunt office most of the time, and I didn't get to watch much of the show, but it seemed like every time I was up here walking the concourse, looked down there, that's a beautiful view from up here on the concourse. For those folks that have never been here, Civic Center. It's a Civic Center with an arena down below. We have all the vendors in, and you know, the concourse is up high, and you look down there. You don't get to see many coonhound shows from a point like that. It's pretty cool.
I think it's in a better location in the middle.
Yeah,
than it was on the end.
Yeah, we moved it from the end that we used to have down to the middle. But yeah, it was pretty cool. So, So what's next for you guys? Any other judging assignments this year at all, or do you enjoy judging?
Oh,
you enjoy judging?
Yeah.
I have a couple local shows to judge, but hopefully someday we'll be the Autumn Oaks judges. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Autumn Oaks in the world.
Yeah.
I've done Grand America and Winter Classic now. So yeah.
Well, good. Well, it sounds like you guys enjoyed it. So
I did.
And we thank you for coming. I know it's a long trip from Indiana down here, but hopefully you had a good time and enjoyed yourselves.
We planned on coming anyway.
Well, thank you for asking us.
Yes,
we appreciate it. It was an honor.
Yeah, well, you're very welcome, and thank you. And thank you for taking the time here before you pack up and head back home. Thank you for stopping in and chatting a little bit.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Our final guest on the podcast was on Sunday morning with Chris Agapiou. His black and tan female named Bria was named the Winter Classic Night Hunt champion. What a unique story this was. I'm telling you, you got to check it out. Well, hey, Mr. Chris, here we are Sunday morning, and you're going to be one of the last people to leave, and that usually means that's the overall winner.
Yes, sir.
Been quite a weekend, huh?
Yes, sir.
Have you had a chance to wrap your head around what just happened here?
I'm still just can't believe it.
Yeah, well, you and I talked a little bit here a few minutes ago off air here, I guess, so to speak, and I'd never seen you at any of our events, but it's not something you've done a whole lot of at all, is it?
No, sir.
Yeah, so let's dig. How long have you been coon hunting?
I coon hunted when I was 12 or 13 years old, and my dog got run over on the highway, and I never could replace him. And we had a squirrel dog that we squirrel hunted around in Texas, for 10 or 12 years, and we lost him due to age. And I just decided to get another coonhound to start coon hunting, and we purchased one from Don Egley, and I trained her and finished her out. She's a Grand Night champion, and just hunting around local clubs around the house.
Yeah, and you're talking about Bria here? Bria
yes,
Ruth? What do you call it, Bria or Ruth?
Bree.
Bree. You call her Bree?
Yes, sir. UKC put Ruth on the back of it because that was her mother's name, because I just put Bree on the papers. I didn't know you had to have two names on it.
I gotcha. Yeah. So, so what year was that when you first, when you competed in your first night hunt?
Bree won her first PKC hunt when she was 10 months old, and she made night champion by the time she was a year old.
Okay. So about 3 years that you really dabbled in these. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go to one here and there around the house if it's close.
So you mentioned this is your first ever Winter Classic.
Yes, sir, it is.
And first ever basically major event.
I went to Black and Tan Days last year, and she won her cast every night down there, and she won she's my daughter's dog, or my daughter claims her. I hunt her and keep her right. My daughter won the scholarship in the Black and Tan Association last year and won every night we was down there too in the youth division.
Yeah.
When we go to a big hunt, most of the time my daughter's the one that calls her.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. I had, like I said, didn't recognize you that I'd ever seen you. I go to a lot of these but that's a pretty good story. So first time at Winter Classic, you come here and win the dang thing.
Yes, sir. So I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah. So what made you decide to come here?
Corey Jeffries been riding me about taking her to some bigger hunts, and I told him I'd come down here and hunt a night or two. And I come to the warm-up hunt, and she won her cast in the warm-up hunt. And
Thursday. That was Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And then Friday night, she won. We drawed out, and she won her cast. We treed in a bunch of den trees, but she treed 3 coons that night. We treed 2 during the hunt, and then she treed another one 2 minutes after the hunt, and we ended up with like a score of 350 plus, and I don't know how many circle points. And then last night, it was just phenomenal. We
talking about Saturday night now. Yeah.
she went in there and got treed about 600 right off the bat and had a coon, and they ended up calling timeout, and two of the dogs got across the river, and we couldn't get them back within an hour, and we ended up hunting it off, or ended up hunting Bree by ourselves because the other dogs got scratched. And
for the time, couldn't get the dogs back in time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We couldn't get them back, and the other dog withdrew because he had a lot of minus, and we cut Bree loose, and I think she treed 4 coons in 40 minutes.
Huh.
It was just unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. So did those guys stay with you? Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The judge stayed with me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, good deal. So you said this is, I have a hard time wrapping my head around. You know how many people come to this event or major events and hunt for years and years without winning a major event? You come to the first time like it's not supposed to be this easy.
Well, Corey Jeffries always tells me I got a good dog.
Well, you probably do.
Yes.
And it takes that. And, you also have to have things go your way.
Yes, sir. I mean, the coons were out. I mean, and they were in one area, and I mean, she just laid all them coons up.
Yeah.
And I was nervous after about the second coon, she just kept falling treed, and I was like, man, she's gonna mess up, but she never did.
Yeah.
She did great.
Yeah. So, you said you mostly pleasure hunt and things like that. You come to this event, you have people from all over. Did you probably hunted with guys you'd never seen before, I assume?
Yes, sir.
Did you know any of them?
No, sir. I didn't know any. I knew a few people with the black and tan dogs.
Yeah.
But as far as like most of these competition hunters and heavy hitters, I don't know. I know their names, but I don't know them.
Right. You mentioned Corey Jeffries. He's kind of a prominent black and tan guy from up around Dyersburg, Tennessee. Sir. There, yeah. We had the World Hunt up there this last year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And Chad Smith, I hunt with Chad Smith some.
Okay.
Talk to Chad. They helped me a whole lot with that black dog.
Yeah. Yeah, those are a couple of good boys too. They know what they've been doing a long time.
Yes, sir.
They know what a good.
And I listen to them.
Yeah, yeah. So you picked up a lot from them, huh?
Well, Corey twisted my arm. I was on a leave yesterday, and he kind of gave me a hard time about it. And then my daughter wanted to stay. I don't know if he got with my daughter or what, but we ended up staying another night, and this happened.
Well, if you hadn't, we wouldn't be talking right now.
Yes,
I can assure you that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, so that's pretty neat story. So let's talk about Bree here a little bit. You mentioned you got her from Donnie Egley, and our records indicate that he was the breeder of
yes, sir.
Of her, and she's 3 now before this year, right?
Yes, sir.
So what's she out of? What?
She's out of Smoky 7 Jr. and a Ruth dog, Raging Ruth.
Oh, yeah, and that's one of Don's dogs, I think.
Yes, sir.
Egley's Raging Black Ruth, yeah.
She was a litter mate to Roxanne, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Ruth
sir.
was.
Yes, sir.
You're talking Roxanne and the world champion
yes,
here
sir.
from about 2017, 18, something like that.
Yes, sir.
2017, I think, maybe 19, but yeah. Yeah, so that's her mama was a litter mate to Roxanne.
Yes, sir, I believe so.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, that's pretty interesting. So what are you thinking of this? Is it something you enjoy? You said you mostly pleasure hunt, but
I coon hunt a whole lot because I got diabetes, and it helps me. It helps my blood sugar levels.
Oh yeah,
and
hey, I can relate to that a little bit. I was just diagnosed this year as well, so it's something I kind of have been learning to deal with. But yeah, I need a bunch of exercise and.
Yes, sir. I don't like to walk or exercise much, but I'll chase that black dog around.
Yeah, and if you got a good one, that makes it even more the better, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I just looked out by getting her.
Yeah. Well, that's just it's a pretty amazing story, and like I said, it's not usually this easy, but and it probably won't be, but hey, having a good dog sure helps your odds a great deal.
Yes, sir.
So, do you have any other hounds at all, or just her? Or
I just concentrate on her.
Yeah. So, what do you got? Any other plans for her? Are you planning on breeding her at some point, or anything like that? Or you thought much of anything? Or
she's got 3 puppies on the ground.
Okay.
And I sold the female puppy that I kept to Steve France. And she was treeing coon after coon after coon. She's up in Ohio right now.
Uh-huh.
She's a lot like her mama. I was hunting both of them, and it was too much to hunt them because one went one way and one went another. And the coons are they're not as plentiful as they are here. And if you walk 2 or 3 miles a night, I mean, it was a pretty rough. So I just ended up settling the puppy didn't do anything wrong, but I couldn't hunt both of them, not the way they were.
Right. So Trenton, Tennessee, I assume that's not too far from Dyersburg. So
No,
it's considered Western Tennessee,
Yes, sir.
right? So and that's pretty flat there. You're not
Yes,
that far
sir.
off the river. How does the hunting here compare to that? Pretty similar?
Where I hunt at, I hunt a lot of type 2 ground, and I hunt a lot of farmers ground, and the farmers want the coons killed, and she gets a lot of coons. Bree gets a lot of coons, and I think that's helped her more than anything.
Yeah, they've had a lot of rain down here in the last several weeks. Did you get in a bunch of water this
Yes,
week
sir,
here?
I did.
She handles it good?
She won't cross water. If she stalls out on a track, she'll blow out of there and find another one.
Yeah.
She won't, if she can't touch you, she's not going to cross it.
Yeah. What is it? Would you say is her strongest suit? What's the one thing that you like the most about her?
I like to hear her load up in tree.
Yeah.
She's about 120 bark dog a minute bark on a tree.
Yeah.
And she's got a gear in it, and she goes hard.
Yeah. Well, Chris, I know you've got a couple of your kids, or at least your daughter's here,
Yes,
I
sir.
think, and they've got her loaded up, and they're probably waiting on you. And it's Sunday morning. We're trying to get packed up. Our crew is as well
Yes, sir.
to head back home. But it's been coming down here. You didn't think you'd be sitting here this morning,
No,
I
sir.
assume.
I had no idea.
But
I never dreamed this.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's going to take a little time for it to sink in, but we appreciate you coming and want to extend our congratulations to you and soak it up. And you're the champion.
Yes, sir.
And Bree is, I guess.
Yes,
so
sir.
to speak.
Bree is.
Bree is.
She did real well this week.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see you again.
Yes, sir. We will.
Thanks again to all of our guests on this episode, and I hope you all enjoyed this episode highlighting the 2023 UKC Winter Classic. Thanks for listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast. Be sure to give us a follow wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss out on new episodes.